Here it is, the last installment, the moment that all those other videos were leading up to, the top 3 Blink-182 songs, the final reveal over what number 1 is. All those hours of ranking, analyzing, reflecting will finally pay off. In alphabetical order, we got Adam's Song, Asthenia, and What's My Age Again. Let's see which one is the best.
3. Asthenia. This one is probably the most surprising inclusion in the top 3, but Asthenia is an amazingly crafted song. It combines the poetic, far-out, spacey style that would become of Angels and Airwaves with the catchy, emotional-driven aspects of Blink-182 in their prime. The lyrics are fascinatingly fantastic. The feeling of void, despair, loneliness, and a desire to return are all so well portrayed and combined to form a truly unique experience. The song reminds me a lot of Space Oddity, and that hopeless feeling of forever being lost in space and leaving your loved ones behind is kind of haunting. The line, "This room is bored of rehearsal, sick of the boundaries, I miss you so much," is arguably the best they've ever written. It perfectly sums up not only the situation, but the emotions as well in such few words. The simplicity of the "I miss you so much" is the last thing he says for a while, and ending on that again just reflects how difficult and trying the situation is for him. It perfectly captures that feeling of being constricted and cut off from those you care about. The line, "Where are you, Houston?" is also an amusing homage and again contributes to the theme. The repetition of "should I go back, should I go back, should I" is a great force in the lyrics and adds an element of turmoil that maybe going back wouldn't solve everything. Thank goodness they went with "go back" instead of "come back," which was used in the demo. The song definitely has a lot of Tom's best songwriting, and the more mature, thoughtful lyrics are the pinnacle of his capabilities on the self-titled album. Musically, the instruments are fantastic. Even the intro with the distorted space transmissions and ominous synths are great tone setters and not something you want to skip over. The opening couple of drum beats set the stage and you know the song is going to be awesome. Tom's flanger intro riff is just beautiful, and when it combines with the bass it's even better. I just wish the bass was louder, same with the guitar in the chorus. The crunchy power chords provide a nice transition between the softer lyrics and the synth, while the effects make that powerful lead up to the final chorus all the more dramatic. This song is without a doubt one of Blink-182's most underrated efforts, and perfectly reflects their prime, as well as subtly the transition that was about to come. I have no issues with We Don't Need the Whisper, I think it's a masterpiece in its own right, but the depressing fact that another song like Asthenia that managed to keep the Blink-182 sound but add just enough Angels and Airwaves influence without going over will never exist is depressing. It was attempted on Neighborhoods, but we all know how well that turned out. However, it also makes this song more significant and special, as well as one of Blink-182's best songs. 2. Adam's Song. Often unanimously considered Blink-182's best song, and I would agree. It's unarguably their most complex, emotional, experimental, mature, and interesting song. So why isn't it number 1? For one simple reason, it doesn't really sound like a Blink-182 song. The song's excellent, and I think it surprised a lot of fans, including myself, when they listened to it on the album because it sounds nothing like they've ever done before, especially considering it follows a track of extreme immaturity and no class, Dysentary Gary. It's such an oddity on Enema of the State, sandwiched right in the middle of songs about needing a girl to train and the neighbor Bob who probably humped the dog. So let me explain. When you think of Blink-182, you think of fast-paced pop-punk power chords, songs about girls, whining about them, breaking up with them, screwing them, giving it to dogs on occasion, not really suicidal plans and depression of this variety. Don't get me wrong, the song's brilliant. I'm sincere when I say that, but I just find it difficult to proclaim it as the crowning embodiment of Blink-182 songs when it's just so disassociated with the Blink-182 style. Now for some Adam's Song analysis. Every lyric is awesome. Remember the time that I spilled the cup of apple juice in the hall. Please tell Mom this is not her fault. So while contemplating suicide, the narrator is reflecting on such a random, mundane memory from youth, and then it's immediately juxtaposed with the negative repercussions and guilt his actions are going to give to his mother. Absolutely fantastic. Now compare that to the "Your Mom's a Whore" line from Dysentary Gary. There's obviously a difference there, and since the album's entitled Enema of the State, I'll side with the whore line being more reflective of their style. Unfortunately, perhaps. The allusions to Nirvana's "Come As You Are" and Julius Caesar's "We Came, We Saw, We Conquered" quip add to the complexity and maturity of this track. The line about avoiding death due to an unplugged cord creates a sense of realism, danger, and severity, especially since it was based on a real experience. I also think it's clever how they combine the feelings of solemn loneliness from long touring runs to feelings of depression and suicide. It's actually amusing that the song's title is inspired by a comedy sketch in which a metal band creates a song to encourage suicide of one of their fans who followed one of their earlier songs a little too well. But ignoring that humorous inspiration, the song's powerful. It makes you feel, question your purpose on this planet. I think it's kind of overlooked that the song has a positive tone to it at the end. It's kind of the opposite of Today by Smashing Pumpkins. The words change from the negativity in the chorus to more hopeful and optimistic in the outro, simply by switching the tenses of a few words around. Mark was truly on his A-game when he wrote this song. And it's not like Blink-182 never tried to do serious songs, and this isn't the only one. Sure, you have the self-title, which is more mature, and their Stay Together for the Kids, but they just don't compare to this masterpiece. All the instruments are superb. Tom's experimenting with a different tuning than standard for the first time, and the hard and quiet changes in sound are really striking. The loudness and softness differences are well placed, especially in the final section when the interlude is about to draw to a close and the outro starts. Travis's drums in that section are perfection. The piano in the interlude is also beautiful. It's a well-fitting instrument in this song. It'd be nice if there was more influence and uniqueness on the bass here, considering this is Mark's trademark song, but what's there is by no means bad. As for the tone, there are two different ones, and there's a somber feel to the song in the place it needs to be, but the chorus and outro have a more triumphant tone to suit the part. It's organized and simple, but definitely works. But again, the instruments are so unlike what you expect from them, it just lacks the Blink feel to it. So in conclusion, it's the best song they've ever made in a lot of ways. As a Blink-182 fan, this is one you need to appreciate to rebuke the haters. Any criticism that they can't sing or too whiny and repetitive or they're too immature can be alleviated by mentioning this song. It was a hard decision not giving this a number one spot, but I just don't see the unique and permanent elements in this song. It's a song all its own, not like any of their others before or after that could label it as a song that best reflects their attributes and skills as pop-punk legends, and in my opinion, the song that does that should be number one. Number 1, What's My Age Again? This may have come as a surprise if you've been keeping up with the whole ranking and reviewing. Of all the songs, why this one? I've got a lot of reasons for it, but the most simple way I can explain it is that this song is Blink-182. This song is synonymous with everything they embodied. Every instrument encompasses their style and capabilities. The lyrics are perfectly Blink-182. Honestly, if I had to pick one song to define the band, to represent them, it's this one. But why? What sets it apart from other notable songs like All the Small Things, I Miss You, I Know a Guy, or Fentoozler? Well, let me tell you about it and why it earns number 1 spot. What's My Age Again is a real crowd favorite. Think back to the Mark, Tom, and Travis show. Which song got the most tremendous opening ovation? Was it All Small Things? Nope, it was this one. The theme song for immature, streaking buffoons everywhere. This is one of the several tracks that compete for the title of their third most well-known song. Its simplicity and lighthearted tone really helped to make the track shine. The embarrassing incidents of childish behavior keep adding up and finally cause the narrator to question their maturity and realize that maybe it's time to stop acting like it's freshman year. These vulgar, hilarious displays are what gives a song its originality and tone. It's astounding how perfect this song would have to be in order to make the charts. After all, there's a reference to calling a mother and telling her husband is in jail for sodomy. It's simply groundbreaking. It's like the song just talks about it so casually that it goes over your head at first, and then you either find yourself singing along or just getting lost in music. You can perfectly relate to this song. I mean, maybe you never did the exact things the narrator describes, but the idea of self-reflection over immaturity is there. Either you're living it and experiencing it, which a lot of us were when it came out, or you're mulling it over and looking back fondly on it, which is what we're doing now. There's no way around it. This is a song with a purpose and hidden profoundness. Once you look beyond the initial layer of humor. The vocal pattern is great as well. Everyone always points out All Small Things as the track that's most fun to sing along to, but I place this one right up there with it. It's more difficult to sing, but it follows a pattern, and the verses and chorus have those great opportunities for harmonies to sing with a friend. I especially like Mark's hard-to-hear harmony at the end. Please stay with me. Kind of sounds like, please stay, Wendy, which relates to another song, Wendy Clear, and also Peter Pan, which is interesting because the song was originally called Peter Pan Complex before those producers changed it. Apparently they were worried not enough people would get the reference. Go figure. The only minor flaw I can think of, if you call it that, is that the song's kind of dated with the payphone line, but in a way, it cements in the culture of the early 2000 lifestyle, before cell phones and all that, when you had to make a real effort to prank call someone. Now as for the music, the opening 30 seconds is arguably the best combined sounds Blink-182 has created, and each instrument really comes together. Tom's guitar starts off, such an easy riff, but there's something truly spectacular about it. Only a few different notes, but they come together to form one of their most recognizable pieces. Then the bass and drums come in and complement the guitar perfectly. After that, Mark's vocals take it away and the instruments take second note, until the interlude. It's one of their better ones. It's basically Tom messing around with the intro notes, playing riffs that could have been quite possibly alternatives of the intro. The bass is unique and cool sounding here. It's too bad it's not just a little bit louder. The drums in this song are, in my opinion, Travis's best work. He came into this project ready to prove himself, and this is one of his most complex and varied tracks in Blink-182's discography. The ending repeats the chorus chords, overlap with the intro, which is now the outro, and the song finishes with that final, "What's my age again?" that makes you want to shout out 23, 27, or 44 as it currently is. Overall, it's a great song. Sure, there are songs that are catchier, more complex, more recognizable, but I can't think of one that tops the list in every one of those categories like What's My Age Again does, and perfectly portrays what Blink-182 is best at. Pop-punk simplicity, catchiness combined with immature, but in all honesty, insightful lyrics. Whether it was intended or not, the song expresses some real themes of maturity and growing up, and even if you don't want to bother with the meaning of it, it's a fantastically catchy song that I can't imagine anyone could hate without trying to. Though the band may never have finally learned that lesson about acting their age, we appreciate their music and the lessons they taught us along the way. Even though things changed, the impact Blink-182 had on us was real. and I'll never forget the times we shared, and we'll look forward to the future and what the band will create, but still fondly hold on to the past as well.
Well, there you have it, 101 Blink-182 songs ranked and reviewed. Hope you enjoyed it, or at the very least didn't hate it. But let me know what you think. What number one should have been, why I'm either absolutely right or 100% wrong, what other rankings and reviewings I should take on next. Either way, I think it was a great experience. It really opened my eyes to the band, made me appreciate them a lot more. Thanks for watching. See you next time.